Sup guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the latest installment in a video series that has gone relatively well on this channel, very well actually, some of the most watched videos. And the topic we're talking about is quitting weed. Today marks 3 months, it's 92 days I think, but the video will be titled 90 days. Now, looking back now, I'm so glad that I did make videos, make vlogs, because they have been well received and they have helped a hell of a lot of people out there going through those, especially that first week, first 2 weeks, 30 days, just hope, a little bit of hope, you know what I mean, when you're feeling hopeless, when you're feeling completely and utterly addicted to a substance, and in this case, that substance being weed. So, by all means go back and follow along in chronological order or in backwards order if you so happen to. Oh God, I'm losing it. I'm fucking tired. And that's the first thing I'll say, is that it's possible to be tired even if you're not smoking. Now, sleep, I'm in a natural sleep cycle. I don't knock myself out with weed every single night, but I'm not going to say that I wake up refreshed every single day. And I'm not going to say that I don't feel, groggy and tired in the mornings, because depending on how much sleep I get, I do. Either way, what I was going to say is that I was always planning on making a 60-day video. 60 days came and went, and now we're at 90, or 3 months. So the last day that I smoked was the 2nd of November 2023. Today's date is the 2nd of February 2024. So I'm here just to check in first and foremost. I don't really have anything groundbreaking to report or say. First thing I will say is that whatever high you find yourself on, through just the absolute pride and ecstasy that you feel having actually been able to quit, will peak and then taper off. Peak, plateau, and then taper off. At the moment, being 90 days through, it's completely out of my system. Any remnants of brain fog or memory problems or brain damage. I mean, I was convinced I had brain damage at one point there. Any long-lasting after effects of even years of smoking will have gone by now, or they fucking should have, right? There shouldn't be any any effects still present after 90 days. So what that means is that now you're left with reality. Like, this is life. Oh my God, because when you're smoking every single day, you fantasize about what life might be like if you were able to quit. You know what I mean? Especially if you've smoked every single day for years and years, and you can't seem to quit. And obviously, when you don't have any weed, your mood is fucked, completely fucked. You're anxious, you're depressed. You're no good to be around at all, because all you can think about is how to get your next smoke. And I was living like that, and I was just absolutely done with it. And I fantasized. I was like, oh, if only I could quit. I'll be this totally different person. Life will seem amazing. I'll bounce out of bed every morning. Well, I'm here to tell you guys that that's just not the case. Life is life. And it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And you might feel like it is in the first 30 days because you are just so proud of yourself for sticking to this and being able to, rid your life of weed. But eventually you're just going to realize, holy shit, okay, this is life. And it's not that much different. And now it's going to be up to me whether I want to try smoking again. Will it be worth it? Can I control it? What did it actually feel like? Because 90 days on, it's kind of hard to imagine, it's kind of hard to remember what it really felt like to be stoned, to be high. And, you know, the way that I'm feeling at the moment, like, I'm fucking tired. I've been working a hell of a lot, which would never have been possible if I was smoking, because I'd prioritise smoking over working my second job. I wouldn't have taken the extra shifts that I have. So, you know, I've been working a shitload. I haven't been sleeping enough, so I am tired. But I want to make this video because it's been 90 days, and if I don't make it today, it may never happen. And I really want to update you guys. But fundamentally, I have to say that life is just life, and I'm going through those. I'm questioning whether I want to bring it back in. I'm questioning whether I can control it when and if I do bring it back in. I'm questioning how it's going to make me feel, because at the moment, I can imagine smoking, and the only thing I can imagine it doing for me is putting me to sleep. And the truth is, that's all it ever did for a long time. It would, unless I smoked at, like, I don't know, lunchtime, and then went to the gym. Like, I was in a pretty vicious cycle of feeling like I simply couldn't go to the gym without smoking. It was almost like my pre-workout. It was like that for years. And so if I'd smoked, I went to the gym, you know, a lot of the effects would have been would have faded, and then I'd get out of the gym and I'd be caffeinated, and I'd be able to push on for the rest of the day and not feel too tired. But what smoking before the gym would do, once the high faded, I'd want more, and I'd want more, and then eventually I would fucking get really, really tired, really fatigued, and, you know, my day would be screwed. Depending on how early I'd smoke, the rest of the day would be fucked. A successful day of smoking weed for me in the end was a day where I smoked it really late in the day and used it just to knock myself out and get a good sleep. But that's a successful day of smoking. I mean, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. And like I said, the only thing I can imagine it doing right now is just putting me to sleep. I'm not going to get that giddy high anymore. You know, that the only time I ever got that was when I didn't have any responsibilities in life. The only thing I can imagine it doing now is making me focus on, you know, because it gave me anxiety. That's the thing. That's what I have to remember. And I don't know whether I could ever get into a good enough headspace to smoke again and it not give me anxiety. And because it had given me anxiety every single motherfucking time I smoked, I'm actually scared that once I do smoke it, my brain will automatically go back to those feelings. And even if I don't have anxiety, my brain will trick myself into thinking I've got anxiety. Because that's what weed does. It's a psychedelic. It does change your brain chemistry at the time. And, you know, one good thing about weed, and I know I'm going all over the place, but one good thing about weed, one thing I always liked is the fact that if you do go to sleep, if you have a good sleep, you can always wake up the next morning and the effects will be gone. You know, whatever experience you had that night before or that day before, good or bad, it'll be gone the next day, and you can reset and you can do it again. And there were mornings that I had just terrible anxiety the night before while smoking weed, and the morning came and I felt a sense of relief, absolute relief that it was over. But inevitably, by the end of the night, by the end of the day, or the end of the afternoon normally, I would have smoked again. I'd be back in that fucking anxious state. And, you know, I don't need that and I don't want that in my life. But I feel as if I will give it another shot. Even after all of that, as crazy as this sounds, I will give it another shot. But I certainly won't be smoking any street stuff, which could be laced. I mean, I'd be surprised if some of the shit that I was smoking near the end wasn't laced, because it just made me feel so off. So, you know, if and when I do try it again, I feel like it's probably going to be when I go to Thailand, which is not too far away. But you never know, I might not, because of all the reasons I've just said. So you know, who wants to live with anxiety? Who wants to put themselves into that state? I don't. So it's, you know, it's going to be I don't know if it's worth it. I really don't. I don't know if it's worth it. It costs money. It makes me cheat on my diet. It makes me feel groggy the next day. And it puts me into a really anxious state. And so at the moment, 90 days on, I will fall asleep within half an hour. Whereas before, when I was smoking every night, I was convinced that I could never fall asleep. I'm sticking to a decent diet at the moment. I'm in relatively good shape. And when I smoke, doesn't matter how fucking convinced I am throughout the day that I'm going to stick to that diet, as soon as I smoke and I open up that cupboard or fridge, the floodgates open. It's crazy what it does. It just completely changes the way you see food, at least. My resting heart rate at the moment is really low. It's about 45, 46 beats per minute, and I want it to stay that way. And I think smoking weed, certainly whilst high, just raised my heart rate. It raises my blood pressure, which is, it's not healthy, you know what I mean? And it is what it is, man. Life is life. I'm experiencing life without being high. I'm experiencing the highs and the lows because, as we all know, smoking weed mellows you out. I mean, if I'm not in that crazy anxious state that I was referring to, I'm in a pretty mellow fucking cool, you know, content state. I mean, that's what I enjoyed about it. But if you're in that state all the time, then your lows aren't as low. In fact, you don't feel any lows. You're fucking numb. You're numb to the world. But your highs just aren't there. You don't care about anything. In the end, after smoking weed every single day for years and years, if you tell me that you're smoking every single day, smoking weed, and you actually care about things, you can actually maintain solid relationships, you actually can build relationships, I mean, I think you're lying. I think you're lying through your teeth. I don't think that's possible. I feel like it blunts your personality, it blunts your ability to feel. And for some people, that's a good thing. But for me, that's actually not a good thing. Life has its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I want to be able to feel it. And so that's all I'm going to say, guys. I think I've covered everything. I've gone back and forth, up and down, fucking in and out. And I've ended up back here. But anyway, 90 days. If I can do it, you can do it. Let me know down in the comment section below your experience with this. Whether you've had a break and gone back to it, how you've been able to control it once going back to it. Because I guess that would be the only way I would, is if I was convinced I could control it, if it was quality controlled and I knew what I was smoking, and if my life and my environment was in order, you know what I mean? Because if I was to go and smoke whilst my life was chaotic, it would only make it worse. And like I said, man, even if my life isn't chaotic, if I go and smoke, my brain is going to convince me that it is chaotic, and then I'm going to get into this anxious state, and it's going to be terrible. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Do I need to find out? No, I don't. Do I feel like I'm missing out, kind of? Yes, I do, but that's inevitable if you've had an addiction to something for so long. So I'm humming and hawing about smoking again. I won't be smoking in Australia. The only way I'll ever smoke is if I can go and buy it legally and I can choose it and I can see it. But time will tell. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.